Nice that you are watching. All Too Well, 10-minute version, has an atmospheric, contemplative pop-rock production by Swift and Jack Antonoff, incorporating synths, saxophone, and strings in the outro. There are 3 new verses added, between the second verse and the second pre-chorus, after the bridge and before the third verse, and after the final verse. There is also an extra stanza in the second chorus. There is the absence of male backing vocals, replaced with Swift's own backing vocals, expanding on the narrative of the original, All Too Well. The 10-minute version traces the entire cycle of a fallen relationship with unsparing details, how the idyllic beginning days of the romance, with the boyfriend tossing the car keys, fuck the patriarchy, keychain on the ground, quickly soured as Swift's narrator was treated badly by the ex-boyfriend. How he never told her that he loved her, and how he stood up on her 21st birthday. She recalls that the ex-boyfriend was possibly ashamed of the relationship. And there we are again when nobody had to know. You kept me like a secret but I kept you like an oath, and used their age difference as an excuse to terminate the relationship. But he continued to date women of her age, and I was never good at telling jokes, but the punchline goes, I'll get older, but your lovers stay my age. A potential reference to the 1993 film Dazed and Confused. The breakup left the narrator breaking down in the bathroom, caught by an unnamed actress. In the outro, Swift's narrator contemplates whether the relationship maimed you too, asserts that it was a sacred prayer, and that both she and the ex-boyfriend remembered it all too well. All Too Well, 10-minute version, was met with universal critical acclaim, often hailed as the standout track on Red, Taylor's version, and a career highlight for Swift. Rolling Stone music critic Rob Sheffield lauded the 10-minute version for evoking even more intense emotions than the already sentimental 5-minute song. Sums up Swift at her absolute best. Helen Brown of The Independent stated the song is a more feminist proposition with its new lyrics. NME's Hannah Mylrea wrote, at its full intended length. All Too Well, 10-minute version, confirms its place as an epic, exhibiting proficient storytelling, vocal performance and instrumentation. Beth Kirkbride, writing for Clash, said the epic song will go down in history as one of the best breakup songs ever written. Kate Solomon of I wrote the pain feels raw in Swift's voice. Variety's Chris Willman dubbed the song as Swift's Holy Grail, and felt glad the singer did not discard the original lyrics, which turn the song into a stream of consciousness epic ballad, filled with more references and specifics of the song's storyline. Reviewing for the line of Best Fit, Paul Bridgewater opined the 10-minute version is as disarming as it is fascinating, an artifact of songwriting and recording process. He asserted that the song magnifies the truncated versions. Drama and emotion. Slant magazine critic Jonathan Keefe stated, while the 5-minute version solely focuses on catharsis from a painful relationship, the 10-minute version more openly implicates the ex who's responsible for causing that pain, and changes the overall tone of All Too Well, with its new verses and song structure. Bobby Olivier of Spin praised the song as Swift's single finest piece of songwriting. 88, Melissa Ruggieri, in her USA Today review, said the song lopes through encyclopedic lyrics that both bite and wound in their honesty and pain. Sputnik music staff critic wrote, All Too Well, 10-minute version, is not a flashy pop song or endearingly rural slice of country, but simply a raw depiction of Swift's emotions, and concluded that the towering breakup ballad represents Swift's habit of expressing these commonplace emotions in uniquely uncommon ways in her writing. Lydia Burgum of the New Zealand Herald said the lyrics paint a vivid picture of an ill-fated romance that cuts deep and captures the universal language of heartbreak. In the words of the New York Times critic Lindsay Zoladz, the song is, quite poignantly, about a young woman's attempt to find retroactive equilibrium in a relationship that was based on a power imbalance that she was not at first able to perceive. The Guardian writer Laura Snapes also dubbed the song an epic track, one that eviscerates her slick ex in a series of ever more climactic verses that never resolve to a chorus. Just a shuddered realization of how vividly she recalls his disregard. Snapes associated the lyric, "soldier who's returning half her weight," with Swift's eating disorder, and interpreted it as a nod to the physical manifestations of heartache. Spencer Kornhaber of The Atlantic wrote that, "All Too Well, 10-minute version, contains more specificity in its lyrics, exuding both warm nostalgia and cooling disdain, which mesmerizes as Swift's cadence slips and slides against the steadily pounding beat, rather than cluttering the song as one would expect." Kornhaber also admired its outro and tempo shift. In a less complimentary review, Olivia Horn from Pitchfork felt the song was too long and sprawling, undermining the emotional climax of All Too Well, 2012. In agreement, Zoladz preferred the 5-minute version, but appreciated the 10-minute version for its unapologetic messiness, with nuanced messages about female emotions and societal relationships. Reviewing for Vox, Philip Garrett applauded All Too Well, 10-minute version as a whirlwind of a song, with the additional verses describing the context of All Too Well in even greater detail than before. GQ ranked All Too Well, 10-minute version as the best single of Swift's career in October 2022. Alternative Press ranked it as the most emo track in Swift's catalog. The song appeared on several year-end rankings of the best songs of 2021. All Too Well, Taylor's version, debuted at number 1 on the Australian ARIA singles chart the same week. Red, Taylor's version, topped the Australian ARIA albums chart, earning Swift a 4th chart double. It also helped Swift score a chart double in Ireland, her second number 1 song in the country after Look What You Made Me Do, 2017. The song was Swift's 8th number 1 on the Canadian Hot 100, and entered the UK singles chart at number 3, the longest song to reach the top 5 in the UK chart history. On the US Billboard Hot 100, All Too Well, Taylor's version, marked Swift's 8th number 1 song. The song became the longest number 1 song in chart history, surpassing Don McLean's 1972 song, American Pie, a feat recognized in the Guinness World Records. Topping the Billboard Hot 100 the same week. Red, Taylor's version, topped the Billboard 200. It marked Swift's record extending third time to debut atop both charts the same week. As Swift's 30th top 10 entry, it made her the 6th artist to reach the milestone. It was her 5th song to top Billboard's streaming songs and 23rd to top Billboard's digital song sales charts, extending her record as the female musician with the most chart toppers on both. All Too Well, Taylor's version, is Swift's 9th number 1 song on Billboard Shot Country Songs chart, 18th number 1 song on Billboard's Country Digital Song Sales chart, and 6th number 1 song on Billboard's Country Streaming Songs chart, confirming her status as the artist with the most number 1 songs on the latter two. In addition, the song is the first by a solo female artist to enter the Hot 100 and Hot Country Songs charts at the summits simultaneously. On January 26, 2014, Swift performed All Too Well at the 56th Annual Grammy Awards, wearing a dramatic beaded gown with sequin detailing and a long train streaming out behind her. She sang while playing piano on a low-lit stage, before being joined by a live band midway through the performance. Her performance was praised and received a standing ovation. Swift's headbanging at the song's climax gained significant media coverage. Swift also performed the song live throughout her Red Tour, while playing the piano. On August 21, 2015, Swift performed the song in Los Angeles at the Staples Center, the only time she did so on the 1989 World Tour. On February 4, 2017, Swift performed the song as part of the Super Saturday Night Show in Houston. Swift performed an acoustic version of the song on the first show of her Reputation Stadium tour in Glendale, Arizona on May 8, 2018, the fifth show in Pasadena, California on May 19, 2018, and the last show of the U.S. leg of the tour in Arlington, Texas on October 6, 2018. The latter of which appeared in her Netflix concert film of the same name. In 2019, she performed the song as part of her one-off City of Lover concert in Paris and at a Tiny Desk concert for NPR Music. She performed the 10-minute song after the screening of All Too Well, the short film at its film premiere, and on Saturday Night Live the following night. Hits dubbed the SNL performance one of the most riveting musical moments of the year. She also performed it at the 2022 Nashville Songwriter Awards. The 10-minute song was on the set list of Swift's sixth headlining concert tour, the Eras Tour, 2023-2024. Actors Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt performed a parody version of the song, inspired by Barbenheimer, on an episode of Saturday Night Live in April 2024. Often dubbed as Swift's magnum opus, All Too Well has been hailed by music critics, fans and journalists as the best song in Swift's discography, citing the vivid songwriting that evokes deep emotional engagement. Sheffield commented, "No other song does such a stellar job of showing off her ability to blow up a trivial little detail into a legendary heartache." The song featured on many publications' lists of the best songs from the 2010s decade, including Rolling Stone, Uproxx, Stereogum, and Pitchfork. It featured in unranked 2010s decade-end lists by Time and Parade, and at number 13 on NPR's Readers' Poll for the best songs of the same decade. Sheffield ranked All Too Well first on his 2010s decade-end list. Rolling Stone placed All Too Well at number 29 of its 2018 list of the 100 greatest songs of the century so far, and 69 on its list 2021 revision of the 500 greatest songs of all time. In 2021, Sheffield placed the song at number 1 on his ranking of 206 Taylor Swift songs, in a list titled The 25 Musical Moments That Defined the First Quarter of the 2020s. Billboard described All Too Well, 10-minute version, as the crown jewel of Red, Taylor's version, and one of 2021's biggest cultural hits. In 2022, Billboard named All Too Well, 10-minute version, the best breakup song of all time. Critics often regard All Too Well as Swift's best song. Billboard stated, All Too Well is the song that proved to skeptics who might have thoughtlessly dismissed Swift as a frivolous pop star, in an era when such artists still weren't given nearly as much credit or attention by critics and older music fans as they are now, that she was in fact a truly formidable singer-songwriter. Bruce Warren, Assistant General Manager for Programming for Philadelphia public radio station WXPN, stated that All Too Well foreshadowed Swift's music direction for 2020. He said, in 2014 or 2015, you wouldn't have been able to say, is working with Justin Vernon, right? Foreshadowed the place she's in now. All Too Well showed the potential of how great a songwriter she would be, and how she would evolve as a songwriter. And Folklore and Evermore took her to another level. At the 65th Annual Grammy Awards, All Too Well, 10-minute version, lost Song of the Year to Bonnie Raitt's Just Like That, 2022, garnering controversy over the fact that Swift, who is often considered as one of the foremost songwriters of the 21st century, has never won Song of the Year despite it being the 6th nomination of her career, and All Too Well dubbed her best work. In March 2023, Stanford University launched an academic course titled Italic 99, All Too Well, 10-week version. It is an in-depth analysis of the song, recognizing Swift's songwriting prowess and related literature. All Too Well is a fan favorite. Over time, the song achieved a cult following within Swift's fanbase and music critics. It is one of Swift's most covered songs. Swift herself remarked this unexpected popularity during her Reputation Stadium tour. "It's weird because I feel like this song has two lives to it in my brain. In my brain, there's the life of this song, where this song was born out of catharsis and venting and trying to get over something and trying to understand it and process it. And then there's the life where it went out into the world and you turned this song into something completely different for me. You turned this song into a collage of memories of watching you scream the words to this song, or seeing pictures that you post to me of you having written words to this song in your diary, or you showing me your wrist, and you have a tattoo of the lyrics to this song underneath your skin. And that is how you have changed the song, All Too Well, for me." Swift, Taylor Swift. Reputation Stadium tour on Netflix. Upon announcement of the release of the original, 10-minute version of All Too Well, as part of Swift's second re-recorded album, Red, Taylor's version, the extended version became the most anticipated song from the album. The multimedia release of the album, the 10-minute song, and All Too Well, the short film, has been described as one of the biggest pop culture moments of 2021. Over the years, the whereabouts of the scarf referenced in the lyrics have become a subject of media attention and speculation. Amelia Morris, an academic in media and communications, wrote that the scarf became an important part of the Swiftian mythology, particularly the Red mythology, that drew the obsession of Swift's fans. According to Morris, this fan debate around the scarf contributed to the release of the All Too Well, 10-minute version, and the short film, representing an evolution in the song's meaning to Swift, who had expressed how performing the song was difficult for her due to its deeply personal content, and her fans, who related to the song on their own terms. According to media outlets, the scarf mentioned in the lyrics was originally lost at the residence of American actress Maggie Gyllenhaal, sister of Jake Gyllenhaal. According to The Cut, it is a very 2008 Americana chic, dark blue scarf with red and gray stripes. Insider confirmed Gucci as the scarf's brand and that Swift was wearing the scarf when she was taking a stroll in London with both Jake and Maggie Gyllenhaal, as seen in multiple photographs by paparazzi. Brad Nelson wrote in The Atlantic that the scarf is a Chekhov's gun whose reappearance in the final verse is thoughtful and brutal. He explained the missing scarf quickly became a fantastic pop culture mystery that has created much online buzz. When asked about the scarf in 2017 by American host Andy Cohen, Maggie Gyllenhaal stated she has no idea where the scarf is, and did not understand why people asked her about it until an interviewer explained the lyrics to her. The scarf's existence or its lyrical use as just a metaphor has been a topic of debate among fans, music critics, and pop culture commentators, who agree it's more than a simple piece of outerwear. According to Sheffield, both the song and the scarf are so significant to Swift's discography that it should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The scarf has become a symbol in Swift's fandom, inspiring jokes, memes, and interview questions. It has even inspired numerous fan fictions in other fandoms. Writer Caitlin Tiffany of The Verge described the scarf as the green docklight of our time. Insiders Callie Algrim called it a fabled accessory and a source of cultural curiosity. NME critic Rhian Daly said the scarf is an unlikely pop culture icon in an inanimate object. USA Today said the scarf re-entered the pop culture conversation after All Too Well, the short film. Kate Lever of the Sydney Morning Herald wrote only Swift could make a decade-old item of clothing a universal symbol for heartbreak. The Guardian named the song one of the most debated lyric mysteries ever. In 2021, following the release of the film and Red, Taylor's version, the Google searches for Taylor Swift red scarf meaning spiked by 1,400%. Fans believe that the scarf is a metaphor for Swift's virginity. The scarf has been depicted as a plain red scarf in All Too Well short film and the music video for the country single, I Bet You Think About Me. In the film, Swift is seen hanging the scarf over a banister, whereas in the latter, she gifts the scarf to a bride, leaving the groom confused. Replicas of this scarf, named the All Too Well knit scarf, were sold on Swift's website. In an interview at the 2022 Toronto International Film Festival, Swift described the red scarf as a metaphor, and that she made it a red-colored scarf to agree with the album's theme. This is the end of the video. Don't forget to subscribe. See you next time. Bye.